Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer, sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Peter Martin, delighted to have your company on this Wednesday. We'll be looking ahead to the football taking place tonight in the company of Alan Rough and Barry Ferguson. Apologies to anyone offended by Ruffy's shirt, which obviously strobes like mad and catches people's eyes. So we thought we'd give you a public warning on that. And of course, we'll give you a public warning on what we're going to talk about tonight. Yeah, Ruffy and Barry here with me. Banter. Before we talk about the games, banter. Everybody seems to be offended by the way managers and players are celebrating. I mean, you liked a good noise up, Barry, didn't you?
Yeah, I just look at it as passion. I don't mind it at all, Peter. I think we're getting to a stage where I think it's getting beyond a joke now. Some of the stuff that people are coming out with.
Did you ever talk to people in the game? Did anybody? I know you like to get in a zone, and Scott Brown's very much like that, but he does break out of the zone occasionally to noise people up. But did you ever have a player that sticks in your mind that used to try and, you know, put you on edge, take you off your game, annoy you?
I try to do that to the opposition.
Did you?
Yeah, I try to get under their skin and make it an uncomfortable 90 minutes for them.
Yeah.
And some players didn't like it and they reacted and you took their mind off the actual game. So I just think it's a bit of experience, people using their head. I don't mind it at all. It's part of football for me. I've done it myself. I've played with a lot of players that done it. I've played against players that have tried to do it to me.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. You just got to remain focused. If somebody was doing it to me, I would just blank them.
Yeah.
Shut them off.
You scored a few goals against Celtic. Did you ever? Yeah, I think I remember one. It was a daisy cutter that you put in the back of the net, and then you ran towards the Celtic, and then obviously because, you know, knowing you as I do, you're spineless, you started to run away.
Well, I remember I was getting a bit too close to veered off to the left. I used my head there. I was just going to run up in front of them. I thought, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't mind that though, do you?
No, listen, you've just got to keep your distance, which I've done. I kept at least 15, 20 yards and I made way for the Rangers fans. But look, when you score a goal, your emotions and your passion get the better of you. I don't mind that. And I seen a couple of comments about Morales when he scored his goal. He's just, the Rangers fans at the opposite end.
Yeah.
If he starts running there, it's a 90-yard, 100-yard run.
Yeah. An Adebayor situation, Ruffy, is way over the top.
Yeah.
You scored it at that end, and then you run up to the fans that used to idolise you and do a slidey in front of them. You know, you get what's coming to you. That's called inciting the crowd.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit outrageous. But one of the funniest ones for me was that Craig Beattie one, where he started running along the track, and I think the further run he went, as Barry was saying, he was getting near the opposition, you know, support, and he obviously just stopped and realised where he was heading. He might never come back again.
Well, to be fair, he had won about 3 medals with Celtic, and it amazed us that he'd won them in the first place, because obviously he'd made that many appearances. Do you remember him coming on the show and saying to us about all the medals he'd won, Ruffy? But he scored the penalty against Celtic to knock them out of the cup. Ran round the Hearts fans, took his top off, hairy chest, and then realised he was heading to the Celtic end and quickly get back on. But as you say, I mean, it's a nonsense. Is anybody good at giving you a bit of... They call it sledging in cricket.
No, I think it's just outfield players that dealt with that. I mean, goalkeepers weren't really getting part of any verbal stuff. Gordon McQueen used to be very, very good in the tunnel, you know, scaring the opposition. You know, I remember we were playing against Brazil, and he just stood there and took what was... you would class as just shouting and screaming as if he'd lost it completely and threw the opposition off. I mean, even we were scared when we were screaming and shouting, but everybody's different and everybody reacts differently.
I had it growing up back in the days when it was reserve football, 16-year-old, and you were playing against a Dun United or Aberdeen, and you were playing against a senior pro who maybe wasn't playing on the Saturday, we would play on the Monday night, and they would see a young kid, oh, this boy's up and coming, he's got a chance of making it. They would wind you up, they would get down the back of you, they would elbow you in the back of the head. say things to you. But you know what? It's part of it.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed that part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you can give us your views on it. It doesn't matter about whether you've played professionally or not. I mean, it's part and parcel of the game. Are we all becoming too sensitive to it? Is it the millennials that are really starting to complain about it? Because the older people don't seem to mind. Anyway, tonight, I wonder who'll mind at Ibrox, because it's Rangers against Aberdeen. Stephen Gerrard said they've deserved more than they've managed to get out of games against the Dons.
We don't want to use the word revenge. Look, it's a tough game against a good team who are very competitive. I don't think we've had the results maybe our performances have deserved, but that's football. You've got to credit Aberdeen, you know. Very tough game on the opening day, going to 10 men for the majority of the game. But our performance was excellent, and to come away and take a point against a rival in the circumstances, it was actually a good result. Cup final, we thought we played well in general play, but lacked a bit of quality in the final third, and we got done against the run of play on a set piece, which we know Aberdeen are very strong at. So credit to them for progressing into the final. This is a completely different game. It's at Ibrox. It'd be great to have two recognised strikers available. We've played Aberdeen twice now, and we've only had a recognised striker on the pitch for 12 minutes. So we're going in with confidence, in a good place. We've got Morelos in form, ready to go, and we've also got Lafferty, who's back in the form he was in when he first came.
That's an interesting stat. We've only had recognised strikers on the park against Aberdeen for 12 minutes. Well, whose fault is that?
I know, I've seen that comment. Obviously doesn't rate Sadiq. That's obvious. But listen, they've got a great record at home, Peter. It's 15 games, you were saying before, 15 games unbeaten at home. That's been the real benchmark from this season. Their home form's been strong. They struggled at the start of the season with away form. They're starting to get that going. So they're looking well just now, Rangers. And I think the night's game will be a good test, but I do think they'll be too strong for Aberdeen again at home.
Interestingly enough, Niall McGinn said something. I think we actually mentioned it last week on the programme, Ruffy, which is, you know, he scored quite a lot of goals, but he certainly wasn't out in the flank where, you know, a number of people have been, you know, maybe thinking he is not as effective. You mentioned the other day that you didn't think he was as effective second time round against coming back to Aberdeen, but I think he's in the wrong position. I think he should be playing further forward.
Well, I think the year that I think he scored about 23 goals from a forward position, not from the winger's position, but that winger position now seems to be the way that James Forrest is playing it. He's a winger, but he's prepared to come inside and be there to create chances and score goals. So maybe that's what McGinn's getting at. You know, he wants to be more active, supporting the front player. But as far as Aberdeen's concerned, they're looking about trying to get a goal scorer, whereas Rangers have got a goal scorer, and that's the difference with the two teams.
Yeah, I just don't think they look a real threat at all at the moment. I think McGinn would be the better option. Rather, Stevie May doesn't look as if he can score a goal. The boy Cosgrove and Wilson, for me, are shot shy.
Yep, that'll be a concern for Derek. I think the rest of their team, defence and the midfield, they're pretty strong up front. That's where they've struggled this season. I'm sure when January comes, that'll be his main focus, and try to get a top striker in to score goals. And I think you've called it right. I think putting McGinn through the middle from now until the start of January, or until Derek gets another forward in place, I think that's a great shout.
I mentioned to you that the other day there about Rangers' disciplinary problems, you know, with 7 red cards. There's another issue which is rearing its ugly head, apart from the red cards, is the fact that they're in trouble with the SFA. Obviously, they've got 4 or 5 counts to deal with regards to their criticism of referees. Now, you know, the other issue that they've just been charged by UEFA for that group stage match between Rangers and Villarreal. A field invasion by supporters that's been cited, and the throwing of objects. I think, Ruffy, at that point they need to start to, you know, get a grip on things. You know, maybe it's a case of just trying to concentrate on the football on the pitch and stop all these cases, which I think seem to dog Rangers at the moment.
I think as soon as you go into Europe, there's a new set of rules. There's a set of rules that you've got to abide by. You know, they're different from our rules. You know, they sort of come down very heavily.
Don't throw anything on the park. Don't invade the park.
No,
That's simple.
But they seem to have not the same punishment as what we have. You know, the flares going up as well. You know, they seem to come down really hard on that. You know, and I think it's because it's up to the individuals. I don't blame the clubs for this. It's individuals who are doing this. You know, the clubs can do all the tell everybody don't do this, don't do that, and then all of a sudden some element of the support just don't listen.
Yeah, that's possibly the only difference between the UEFA and the Scottish one, is the clubs won't take strict liability for the behaviour of some supporters, Barry. But in Europe, as soon as your supporters enter the ground, you are in charge of security and the conduct of those fans.
Yeah, but that will be a concern. I mean, it's one or two individuals that are entering the park. I don't know whether I've had a bit too much to drink before the game, but listen, it doesn't help. And I agree with you, all this off-field stuff that's going on, the Willie Collins stuff as well. I mean, the guy made a genuine mistake. We spoke about this weeks ago. At the end of the day, he made a mistake. He's held his hands up. Just move on.
Yeah.
Move on. Because Rangers are going really well on the pitch at this moment in time. Let's concentrate on that instead of other things.
Yeah, I think if you actually get to the concentrating on the football, some of this won't take the shine off the fact that Rangers are actually top of the league, which, you know, right now there's a real feel-good factor, momentum building. I think if there was less of the conspiracy theory, criticism, you know, off the field, I think that's something, you know, they really need to work on with regards to press releases. That's my main criticism of it. I think if they concentrate on press releases which say, by the way, Steven Gerrard, good job, concentrate on players coming in, get the fans excited, instead of this perpetual, constant, it's a referee, it's this, we think he's, you know, he's showing bias this way or the other. It's just a nonsense. I think if they concentrate on the football on the park, you know, we wouldn't be talking about this. It wouldn't be ruining what is a good performance by Rangers in the first half of the season to end up top of the table.
Yeah, but in all fairness to Steven Gerrard, when that statement was released, he just stayed shy of it right away. You know, he distanced it as if to say, that's not my thoughts. You know, he never said whose thoughts it was, but it definitely wasn't the way he was thinking.
That's the problem. Whose thoughts is it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you see Aberdeen beating Rangers tonight, Ruffy?
No, I've said it on numerous occasions. Aberdeen seem to think they're going to do something, but they just can't handle the big games, and they do something silly.
Okay, Motherwell against Celtic could be a tough one at Fir Park. I'm certainly going to go along and see if Stephen Robinson's side can put up a fight. They've showed a bit of form over the last 4 games, but didn't expect to lose against Livingston, but they certainly won't be lying down against Celtic, according to the Fir Park boss.
You've got to be on the top of your game, simple as that. You know, Celtic are a very good side. We need to bring our A game. You know, we need a performance like we did against Aberdeen. And if we do that, it'll be a very close game. We'll give Celtic a very good run for their money. And, you know, with a little bit of luck, we can go and win the game on the night. But you have to be on your A game. You have to do, as I spoke numerous times now about, you have to do the simple things better than them. You have to, you know, make sure you compete. You have to make life uncomfortable for them. And we certainly won't lie down and wait to be beat and lie down and die. That's what we have made a reputation on. And we need to get back to that after Saturday's performance.
Yeah, he's got players that, listen, anyone can lose to Livingston on the evidence of this season, but he's got players that I think the message that I got from the press conference I attended yesterday was they've maybe forgotten what their DNA is at Motherwell at the moment under Stephen Robinson, which is basically get out there, get in the faces, battle, physical, and try and play a bit of football at times when it's necessary, but push them up the park and win second balls with physicality.
Yep, that was a success last season. That's the way they played. They struggled at the start of the season, but I was never in any doubt that Motherwell will be safe this season. But I agree with you, that's Motherwell's game, especially at Fir Park, making it uneasy for the opposition. Don't give them any time on the ball. They're a pretty direct team at times back to front, and then they're getting people up, getting the second ball. So I'm sure they'll want to get back to that tonight. Make it uneasy for Celtic. But if I'm looking at it, I always think if Celtic do compete, quality always comes through in the end, and I think Celtic will have too much quality.
Yeah, as far as Celtic are concerned, Ruffy, I think most of the news will be picking up on the fact that on social media, which players are obsessed with, Dedryck Boyata has put out, I think it was on Instagram, am I right, Barry? Was it Instagram? Yep. We saw that little teaser of a contract with Boyata, has put a little emoji, possibly of him signing it. Now, that might get Celtic fans excited that he's going to sign a new deal. The cynical would say, oh, he's going to sign a new deal, which means if Celtic punt him, they'll get more money.
Yeah, I think agents and players now are wise to what they're doing when contracts come round. You know, he obviously wants to feel as if he's part of the club for long term, but we all know that there are discussions going behind the scenes we don't know about. I think him coming back for the World Cup, we think there was a couple of offers. I think he's just been told, right, when the right offer comes in and we like it, then you can go.
Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, I've got my own thoughts on Boyata. I think he's probably a better player in his own head than he actually is. I'll be blunt with you. If Celtic got 10 million for him, if they got him on a 3 or 4 year deal and then sold him, I think they should be. I think once again everybody should take Peter Lawwell out for a slap up meal.
Yep, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't ever his biggest fan, but I do think he's improved. I do think certainly over the last 18 months he has become a better centre half. I don't know whether that's playing with an international team with top players, but he has certainly been one of Celtic's better performers. But again, if somebody comes in with that sort of money, I think you've got to snap their hand off. I think they've got good centre backs there. Ayer, and I like the boy for Leicester.
Enkovic, yeah.
I think he's going to be a top player, that boy. He's got a lot going for him. So I think if a decent offer does come in, they will take it. But again, that's good business. Get him in a new contract and sell him in the summer.
Yeah, if that is indeed the plan.
Yep.
But
well,
I think,
know.
Oh, I think it is. But we will wait to find out. Okay, any upset at Fir Park?
I'm always a bit wary, as you know, about midweek games and the rain's coming down, and it's. I just have. Yeah. No, I think Motherwell will get a draw.
Oh, there you are, Barry.
No, Celtic for me.
Yeah, and remember, by the way, I'm not knocking anybody. I've always got to try and do this just in case people who are superstitious get offended. We're not knocking it. If there's dark clouds and it happens to be a Wednesday and then a bolt of lightning comes down, something's happening according to Ruffy. So a draw for Motherwell. Now, the one guy that I like, I've been accused of being slightly biased in favour of Hearts, but I like Craig Levein. I love the fact that he opens his mouth and gives you great copy. He says refs cannot be exempt from accountability for mistakes. Yes, and I'll quantify that line by saying, yes, criticise referees if they make a complete blunder. Just don't actually start to question, their allegiances or anything in the background or personal assaults on them. I don't think Craig's been guilty of that. He's just basically said, look, he's made a howler.
I feel for the ref in the game on Sunday. That's the linesman for me. The linesman's right in line with it.
Yeah.
That's where the linesman has got to come in and help the referee. I don't think you can solely blame the referee in that one. That's why you've got linesmen. But listen, I'm a big believer in time. We've got to get VAR in. I've got to get it in. Yeah. Because then it makes these decisions easy.
Find the money by hook or by crook. I agree with you, Barry.
The thing about it is the referees are accountable. They're accountable to the supervisors who mark them at games, and if they do think that they're not doing particularly well, they don't get semi-finals, they don't get finals, so they're punished.
Surely that person, that guy in the stand, realises that's a linesman.
Oh yeah, he'll mark it down, he'll see it as it, but I'm saying the referees do suffer. They might not suffer at the clubs, but they do suffer internally, because when, as I said, the big games come around, the best marked referees get the big games.
He is a good referee, Bobby Madden. But
yeah, he is, and I think he's one of those referees you can have a bit of banter with as well.
Exactly.
Listen, St Johnstone, 9 goals, none conceded, 6 games undefeated. Got to hand it to the manager of the month, Tommy Wright.
Yep, fantastic run for the players as well. He's done it again. When things weren't looking too good, he's managed to get a group of players together and churn out results and not losing goals as well.
Yeah, St Johnstone or Hearts?
I've went for a draw here, 1 each.
Yeah, I think it will be a draw. I think it will be a tight one.
David Gray, the Hibs captain, had a meeting with the players to chat to them and say, look, 6 games without a win, come on, let's get a grip here. Sometimes you need that dressing room chat.
Yep, and I seen Gary Parker had mentioned today also that they made it light-hearted couple of sessions, a bit of fun involved, and sometimes you need to do that. There's a lot of pressure, obviously, on the Hibs players. What is it, 5-6 games without a win? Which surprises me, because I do think they've got a lot of quality. So maybe they've just had a couple of days, they've had a chat to each other, and I think this is the night where they'll get that victory.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think you're better having these talks before the game rather than after it.
Yep.
Yeah. Why?
Because usually it gets out of hand after the game and people start having a go at each other.
Okay, right. So Hibs to win, Ruffy?
Hibs for me, yep.
Kelly against Livingston. Gary Holt, I think, has mentioned a point here. He says he thinks Steve Clarke will eventually be back down south with some of the clubs because of his performances. I mean, if results went his way tonight, suddenly Kelly could be top of the league. That would be an incredible achievement for this manager.
I keep saying it every single week. The results that Kilmarnock keep pulling off are unbelievable. I just get the feeling that you're listening to Stevie Clarke. I think he's found a comfy place there. I think he's enjoying himself. I know when England comes calling at a big club, certainly it would entice you to go, but I just look at him now. I think he's happy. He's an Ayrshire guy.
Yeah.
He's done wonders since he's come up here. So I think he would stay with Kilmarnock.
Yeah, I think he'll be the next Celtic manager if Brendan left in the summer, Ruffy. With that line.
That's an interesting one. I think he's done anything wrong.
I've got him right on the hop with that line, eh?
He's done nothing wrong at club level. It just depends what other candidates are out there.
You didn't expect that, did you?
I didn't. Do you know what? He might not beat Kilmarnock.
Okay, Kelly or Livingston?
I think this will be a tight one, but Kelly being at home, Kelly will win it.
Kelly for me, yeah.
Okay. Kenny Miller says it's just a must-win for Dundee. They've got to win at home against Hamilton, or suddenly you start to think to yourself, what are they going to do?
Yeah, it's one of the ones that they need to start winning games. I know they've had a few draws under Jim McIntyre, and they'll be looking at Hamilton as, look, we can go and beat them, but Hamilton have went to the weekend and got a superb result against St Mirren. It'll be a difficult one. I'm going to draw with this one. Yeah,
it's a tough one to call, Ruffy, because James Keatings was talking in the papers. I was reading his stuff with great interest. He's been on our show on more than a few occasions. A terrible time with injuries, but suddenly he looks as if he's back to his old self.
Yeah, and for a while at Hibs as well, he looks as if he was back his old self, and obviously picked up another injury. So yeah, I think the more games he gets with the confidence, and certainly with that goal he scored at the weekend, was fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to talk about attendances. That the fans are flocking to the games in Scottish football, which is great, and long may it continue. Rangers, with the percentage of the stadium full, have the highest, 97.2%. Stadium full, which is great stuff, followed by Celtic and Hearts at the bottom end, St Johnstone and Kilmarnock. A lot of empty seats in there, but nevertheless, we know that the problems that they face on a regular basis. I think the best way to finish is on the old Thistle. January transfer window looming ever closer, Ruffy, but Scott McDonald training with you guys. He's been on this programme more than a few times. Is there a chance?
Yes, he certainly is. I think him and Gary know each other very well. I think he asked for training facilities, which Gary gave him, and I think he's been very impressive in the training, and it's up to Gary to see what he wants to do.
Could he be the Christmas present you're looking for, Ruffy, to get the goals and bring the good times back?
If I thought he could go into the team on Saturday and score a hat-trick, I would agree 100% with you.
Yeah, okay. See, if I thought, that's Ruffy's way of saying, get him a deal, get him in there in a Partick Thistle strip. You never know. I have to tell you, we've been playing with him at fives. He could do a job for Thistle. He's still as sharp as a tack. Okay, thanks to Barry. Thanks to Ruffy. Don't forget, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and you'll get the programme 6 o'clock live Monday to Friday. Thanks for watching. Welcome to PLZ Soccer. Why not join the football family and download the PLZ app? You'll get all the latest Scottish football news and up-to-date news on English and world football. There's also a feature here where you can record yourself talking about your favourite team. If we use the video, you could feature on our football show. For all the latest news in Scottish football, download the PLZ Soccer app in the App Store and in Google Play. Come and join the football family on PLZ Soccer.